So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today I'm joined by Nikki Esposito. So, she has a band called Star Funeral. They play emo, shoegaze, and she also sends me bands. She has sent me
Yeah,
bands for, for this. So, Nikki, nice to finally meet you in person. How are you today?
I'm doing good. It's great to finally meet you too. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so the band is also from New York. So I like the description of emo shoegaze because this is like a new thing. Because there's another band that I really enjoy that listen to this year called Real Friends, and they
Real
also
friends,
say
okay.
yeah that they're emo shoegaze. So Star Funeral, I was reading that you this project started back in 2020. You were writing these songs. Tell me a little bit about how Star Funeral was born.
So this band just kind of, well, project, not really band, but I like to call it a band sometimes, but this project came about randomly. I wasn't honestly planning on making this a project in general. I never knew that this was where I was going to be, but I played in a couple of bands over the years, like starting out when I was like in high school, and I was in a bunch of bands touring and dabbling in like different genres, but when I was younger, I always just wanted to sing and play guitar. And when I was in high school, I saw a listing on a Facebook group in Long Island where musicians can meet up, and they're looking for a vocalist and a guitar player, and I really wanted to be in a band, so I messaged them, and when I got the invitation to join them, they asked me if I could play bass instead. So in a lot of my bands, I was playing bass and singing, and I never got that fulfillment of playing guitar in a band, but throughout the years, all my bands kind of just died out, and I was kind of uncertain with what to do with music. And I had Billy Menino, who recorded my album with me, reach out to me right before COVID started and was like, please come to my studio. I want to work with you so bad. And I just didn't really know where to start just because I felt let down from all my past bands. It was just me. So he
Mhm.
kind of just asked me to record a solo album by myself, and I ended up getting my best friend Ethan playing drums for me on the album from one of my past bands, who was also pushing me to pursue a solo project. So it wasn't really in the plans for me, but they both brought me into this solo musician, I guess, pathway. And that's how Star Funeral just came about. But I had a lot of these songs just hidden in my recordings on my voice memos on my phone. And I thought I would never share them with people. But ever since recording those songs with Billy and Ethan, it came about and it seems like people are really liking it. And now I'm doing Star Funeral full time. So that's kind of it.
That's a cool. And so when you were thinking of names, because this really like more your solo project, but like you wanted to name it, like what was the inspiration for the name Star Funeral?
So I really like the band Cloakroom. I don't know if you've ever heard them before.
Program. Yeah, I've heard
They're a
of them.
shoegaze band. You'd probably really like them actually, but they have a song called Moon Funeral, and I felt like I really want to do something with like Star, and I just love that band so much, and I'm very influenced by them. So I decided just to do Star Funeral, and it just stuck with me.
Well, the good thing is it wasn't taken.
Yeah, right. I was searching actually to see if it
Oh
wasn't.
yeah.
Nobody had that name, so I just kind of
You
thought,
just
let's
grabbed it
keep
because it
it.
sucks.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I talked to a band from Puerto Rico, and their name is Souvenirs, and then they're like, when we
Oh
took
my
the name, and then
God.
there's like a lot of souvenirs, and like you,
There's so many. Oh my God. There's actually a band called Souvenirs that I love so much, which I didn't realize that there's multiple souvenirs.
yeah.
That's
So they have to put
crazy.
Souvenirs PR, but they're a degent band. So it's
Wow.
like it's like totally different. But you know, there's a time like so many names, but I like the match of like star because you think of a star, you think of bright, beautiful, but then you have funeral next to it, and you think of doom and gloom. So I think it works out in the end.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely fit the vibe of my music really well. So I think that name was a good choice.
Oh yes, there's I can't remember the track, but there's a track where you go, it's like, ah, if you think like you might die.
Yeah,
You're like, ah, it's really you're really bringing in the emo there to the shoegaze. Uh
totally.
yeah, so you being in bands and so it came time to do a solo project. So like you growing up, like which bands did you like enjoy growing up that got you into this style of music?
So I really love Title Fight. They were definitely like a big inspiration to me. They released this album called Hyperview that I love. I have it like actually tattooed on me, which is funny.
Oh,
But
nice. Cool.
I that record just like impacted me so much and it like helped me like get through like a really dark place and I just loved how honest they were. I also love the band Land of Talk. They also really influenced me. Their music's just like gorgeous and I also love how honest they are. And I also really love the band Armor for Sleep. They definitely influenced me. A lot of their songs are about like dying or going through like a dark pathway. So a lot of those bands just made me feel comfortable to be able to, I guess, let the world know I was in a dark place and be honest with my lyrics and not feel ashamed to let that out that I'm struggling. So,
I think they're relatable. I think a lot of people are struggling and are afraid to say so. Like I'm pretty upbeat, and but you know, like even upbeat people get down sometimes, and it's
totally.
hard to go. And something that I really enjoyed about this album was definitely the lyrics. You don't hold back on the lyrics, and they seem like very personal and heartfelt. So I wanna talk about lyrics and some of the few tracks. One that is not a single and I love is "Outgrow."
Outgrow. Yeah, everyone always says that that should have been a single, that song
It
too.
should have been a single. I just love the part where you say like you outgrow people, like you outgrow your clothes, and I'm like, yes, that is
Yeah,
so true.
it
Unless
is
you're like
so
me,
true.
that I have some clothes that last for me like 10 years or something.
Totally. Like when I wrote it, it was about like I don't know, you go to thrift stores and a lot of times you buy worn clothes, but also people donate clothes and it goes through
Yeah.
like the stressingness and a lot of different things. Like you can also outgrow it. So I thought it fit perfectly with losing friendships.
Yeah, it's very relatable because at least for me, I had this great friend in high school, and the minute we graduated, he told me, my mom told me we can't be friends anymore.
Oh my God.
Yeah, yes, and until this day, if I see him, he'll say like, "Okay, hi and bye." Like
That's
it's a
so
stranger.
creepy.
It is crazy. And then there's people that really stay in your life. And I don't know about you, but there's some people that come in your life for a reason, and it's just like one reason and one a few years, and then they leave. So yeah, that's why I really liked it because it's very relatable and having that metaphor of the clothes and people. Uh, uh, is there some is there some clothes that you never outgrew?
Honestly, there's definitely clothes I'd never outgrow. I'm like a really short person. This is a weird story to explain, but
Okay.
when I was like in high school, I went into my brother's closet and I stole like a plaid shirt from him, and
Mhm.
it's from the children's place, and I could fit in the flannel still, and I still have it to this day.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, which is
No,
kids' clothes, but still fits. It still fits me.
well, that's my girlfriend's like 5'1" or 5'2", so
Yeah,
yeah.
the same height as me, same exact height.
So it's a height like that it's good for clothes. Not me, like if I grew the clothes, but there's still clothes that I like wearing band t-shirts still.
Totally. I'm the same way. I have like boxes of old band t-shirts that I just really can't give away. So I have those definitely forever that are gonna be with me forever to just to have for memorabilia, but not to wear, but really old ones.
And there's shirts that I see old pictures that I lost. I don't know where they are. I miss those shirts.
Oh my
Like
God, I've definitely been through that. I'm like, I wonder where that shirt went. There's this still a shirt that I'm always looking for that I think I lost. It's like a slow dive shirt I had. And I like every time I see a picture of it, I'm like, oh, I wish I could find it, but it's lost. It's somewhere.
yeah, so they put that Slow Dive album from last year was great.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. So Outgrow, so what were you thinking of some people in particular, or was it like in general?
So I kind of wrote it about like people in gen like specific people in general, and then within like the time that I guess I wrote it, recorded, and put it out, it just like resonated with me with like other friendships I was losing at the time, but there was definitely like one specific friendship that I personally wrote it for, but throughout that, I'm happy to see that like other people have gone through the same situation and like they can relate to it because honestly, like I've definitely like from writing it, recording it to putting it out, I've gone through losing more friends, so it just like it's a song that I think just resonates with the situation, but yeah, I mean, through through writing that song, I did write about specific people and I thought that they would be my friends forever. They were kind of just like family to me, and I don't know, they just kind of pulled the rug under me, and I didn't realize what they were doing to me, and I didn't want to let them go, but yeah, they cut the strings and strands in the lyrics that I wrote away from me basically.
Yeah, makes sense. And yeah, I feel sad too when I think of like some friends that just like you never know what happened. We just stop being friends or things like that. So I think it's a very relatable song. I think everyone can relate to it. And yes,
Totally.
it should have been a single. But there's
I know, everyone keeps telling me that all the time. I've always been told that. That's so funny that you say
yeah,
that.
it's a great track, very honest, and uh it's just a simple metaphor explaining friendship and clothes. That
Yeah.
no, I've never heard someone. I'm like, yeah, that's a stroke of genius, and it's really,
Thank you.
I think it's my favorite track on the record.
I'm glad
Uh,
to love it.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I also like the Alone track that you filmed the music video. I saw the music video, and it looks like you're at prom or something, and everyone's like ignoring you or you're playing the
Yeah.
guitar. Tell me a little bit about the music video and that track.
So I just kind of wrote that song feeling, I guess, like when you're in like a public situation or hanging out with friends or going to a concert, I always just felt like my brain like can't shut off as a person. And
Mhm.
like it's always like when you run into in your head and you're like, what's the next thing I'm gonna do like when I say hi to this person or like how am I gonna act or things like that. But you just like feel like awkward and like alone in like a crowded room. That's kind of how I was feeling in ways, or how I've always just felt like alone in a crowded room with my anxiety and stuff. So that was kind of the reason on why I wrote that song. But the video, I think we wanted to just kind of explain the feeling of feeling alone in a crowded room. And I worked with Ben, who did my music videos.
Mhm.
And he came up with this amazing idea, and that's what it came about, that prom type of looking video.
Yeah, very. It reminded me of Macy Star.
Oh,
Uh,
that's so cool.
Remember when they did that Fade Into You video? So that song, yeah, it's I relate in what you're explaining because when I lived in the US, I really felt alone when I went to concerts because here in Puerto Rico, I go to concerts and I meet up like I find a lot of people that I know, but kidding you, I went to some metal or rock concert there where I didn't know anyone, and then I just standed and listened to the music, and even though I enjoyed the music, it was kind of like lonely, like just
Yeah,
being there and
totally.
and no one's talking to you. So I like to talk. So
I'm the same exact way.
I got like that type of vibe. Except one concert I went to for Coheed and Cambria and Astronoid, that before the concert I was anxious, but it was for different type of reasons. This dude in the street wanted to cut me with a knife.
Oh my
So
God, that's
I
terrifying.
had to get into my car. Yeah, I'm like walking, and this dude is like, "I'll cut you." I'm like, "Why?"
God,
I'm like, I'm like, what did I do to you? I'm like,
that's
is it
so
the shirt I
scary.
wore? So I had to run to my car. Oh, it was like, and that concert, even though it was awesome, I was like anxious and
Oh
it
my
got kind of
God.
ruined. Yeah,
Yeah, I would have felt
that,
the same exact way. That's so
yeah.
scary. Oh my
Never
God.
moved to Florida.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, that happened to me in a concert. But yeah, like where you're in, and maybe you're the same way. Sometimes before I fall to bed, I'm thinking of what I'm going to have for breakfast the next day.
I'm the same exact way. My brain just like can't shut off. So
Why
at night
we
I'm
do
just
this to
thinking
each
of
other, Nikki?
everything. Literally, I'm thinking of this like when before I go to bed, especially like recently. Not recently, it's been like this for a while, but like my brain can't shut off and yeah, I'm like anxious. I'm like, when am I gonna drink the next day? Like when am I gonna eat the next day? What's gonna happen? Like it just can't shut off, but it's like all the anxiety.
Yeah, so it's good to see that I'm not alone. That yeah, this happens to me and
Yeah.
stuff, and you're like overthinking stuff. Uh,
Always. Always.
yeah, always. So let I want to show the artwork of the record, which is a pretty cool artwork. And okay, so here we have it. So the album's called In the Dark. So tell me a little bit of what you wanted to convey with the artwork.
So in the dark, I just really wanted to just explain about just like being in pure like desolation.
Hmm.
Like just the feeling of just like feeling depressed and like sad just to put it into those two
Yeah,
words. I just really wanted to just describe the feeling of like being in the dark like mentally.
yeah, and it
That's
is a
kind of what it.
it's a cool picture.
Thanks.
Was this taken from one of the videos?
No, it was actually taken in my old bedroom and we just put like curtains behind it from my childhood bedroom and I had like that crown that I
Yeah,
wore in the Alone video, but I wanted to
yeah.
just like keep it with the same vibe, so I put the crown on and stuff. But yeah, I wanted to keep it very like cool tones and just showing like that things are going a little dark in my head, I guess, in a way.
I know my daughter would love this album cover picture because you have stars and the dress. So she would actually enjoy it. So yeah, I think
That's awesome.
it's a cool and you know you have your blanks there, which it can say a lot of what you're thinking. So yeah, it's a cool picture and it
Thanks.
goes with the music. So you know the album it's a short album. It's 27 minutes. So it flies by. So my only complaint there is too short.
I know. A lot of
Yeah,
people tell me that. They're like, "Do you have anything else?" or "Why is it so short?" And I
it
don't
takes
know, like
time to do albums. Yeah.
totally. And I think at the time everything was just kind of like, we're gonna do this, that, this, and I was just basically kind of just on for the ride when we were
Mhm.
recording, just because I didn't have anything like pre-planned. All my songs are just these songs that were sitting in my voice memos, and it wasn't like we're gonna do an album and like these are the songs we want. It was just more like, hey Nikki, you're gonna come to my studio and record and like what songs do you want to do? And and things like that. I just wasn't really thinking like, oh, this is an album. Oh, this is
Yeah.
like what we're gonna do. So everything's very like spur of the moment with putting this album together, which is good. I liked it that way. It was like very natural. It wasn't forced, but I promise next time I record something, I'll definitely make
No,
it
but it's
a little
uh,
longer.
yeah, it's cool. How long was the process of recording the songs?
So the recording process actually wasn't too long. We recorded it definitely like a little bit before COVID, and then I think when the lockdown kind of raised up a little, we started
Mhm.
finishing up recording. But I had the album done honestly like very quickly. I was just sitting on it because my anxiety really got the
Mhm.
best of me. Like we were saying, like your brain just won't shut off. My brain just wouldn't shut off, and I was just kind of being my own worst enemy, and I prolonged putting it out. So I think
Mhm.
I waited for like 3 years or 2 years, I forgot,
Oh, wow.
put it out because I was just like filled with so much anxiety. I was scared to put it out. I wasn't sure what people would think about it. I also felt like my music ability wasn't the best just from my
Mhm.
past, from like the people from the song that
Because of the
I
bands that you were in before?
yeah, because of
Because
my bands I was in before, I just like had a very bad experience with one of them, and it put me in a spot where I just felt very insecure with my music ability, and that was like really tough for me to, I guess, regain the confidence. So within the time of recording, Billy and Ethan were like really building my confidence, and then recording
Mhm.
everything alone was building my confidence. But once I had the album all done, I pumped the brakes, and I still needed to give myself some time. But it was cool because when I put out one song, which is Alone, that was my first single, and I finally
Yeah.
started getting the confidence to finally release the album. I put out the video for Alone, and I had Count Your Lucky Star Records reach out to me, which is the label I'm signed on to right now, and they just put out amazing records. When I was like in high school, I found a lot of my favorite bands from them. So it's just like incredible to get reached out by them and signed to their label, and we were pressing it into vinyl. And that was like a whole shock to me because I was just gonna throw it on Spotify and like call it a day. But that also gave me like more confidence, and I didn't feel like as alone to put it out. So it was cool getting to see like a lot of these people just be confident for me to help me
Yeah.
grow into a more confident person. So it did take me a while to put it out because of my anxiety, but
Yeah.
I think it came out during a good time because I think I was finally like willing to open up and start like healing. Because even when I put out the record, like I think it's almost 2 years in March, it was
Mhm.
like a healing process for me, and I'm still healing from putting it out, but it's definitely like made me more confident throughout these 2 years for sure. But yeah.
Yeah, because it was out March of 2023. So
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's been a while. So are you currently working on your music?
So I do have some more songs in my voice memos that I did put
Hmm.
together right after I recorded the album. And then I kind of just started getting writer's block, but around that time we were putting out the album and doing other things. So do have some songs like in my voice memos, and
Hmm.
eventually I record more stuff, but I have been just like touring out as much as I can. That's been like my more of my focus just because so many people are asking us to play different states, and I'm trying to hit all the spots for people to see us play this album. But I will definitely be recording music hopefully soon.
Yeah. Do you feel more at ease like when you're playing live than when you're like writing?
I think so. I think so, for sure. I think when we're playing live, I feel more at ease, and when we're on the road, I definitely feel like more in my comfort zone. But when I'm writing, I do feel like since I put out such a vulnerable album
Hmm.
and and things where it just like had so many heavy subjects. I just feel like I wanna keep it that way where it's like still honest and I never wanna force myself just to write music, just to put out something where I don't feel like it's like vulnerable, I guess, in a way.
No, I guess. You know, when I was listening to the album, I didn't realize it came out in 2023. I thought it came out this year.
That's
Uh,
so funny. Yeah,
I
I
did.
keep trying to push it
It's
out
new
like
to me.
like
I
a new
listened to it.
album.
I listened. I didn't know you were in a band. So when I'm like, you're in a, when you posted in your Instagram that you were in a band, I'm like, I didn't know you were in a band.
That's so funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
I keep trying to just because I feel like I'm still really pushing this album out because it's new to people now still I feel like currently as well like this album is like you just said you thought it was new. I keep trying to push it out like it is a new album because it is still new. It's not that old
Yeah.
and
The thing
it
is, there's
hasn't
so
met
much
everyone
music.
yet.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so much music being put out there that a lot of things get lost in the shuffle because there's so many things.
Totally.
Uh, yeah. So yeah, and it's and I don't think a lot of people might realize like that it's scary to put especially with the vulnerable lyrics, put yourself out there. I wrote songs when I was younger. I haven't put them out because they suck.
Don't say that. Hey, I felt the same way, and then here I am now doing
No,
something.
no, but Nikki, I assure you they're terrible. That's why I critique on YouTube.
Oh my God.
Because my music is that's what my girlfriend says. My girlfriend says sometimes that I'm a music snob because I didn't like the last Coldplay record, which she loves.
That's so funny.
Yeah, she's like, what record did you hear? I'm like the same as you. But she's like, I love it. I'm like, I love their first record.
That's so funny.
So yeah, and the music, you have some cool music videos. You have one also for Solitary,
Yes.
uh, which is a pretty cool song too. And In the Dark, which closes the album. And I like the video because you have like you're holding like like it's like a picture, like
Yeah, picture frame.
a
Yeah.
picture frame on that music video. So that's a cool one, and that
Thanks.
closes the record. So yeah, so it seems like I know you were playing some shows recently. So how have the shows been?
Yeah, we just got back from tour with Mount Orander, who are also on Count Your Lucky Stars, and it was really great. We played a really awesome spots, and I feel like every time we've been going out on the road, it just keeps getting better and better, and like it's cool seeing people want to see us play in different states and like sing our songs and things, and like people have been asking me for autographs sometimes too, which has been crazy, but it's been really awesome because that's what I want. I want people to come see us play and get to see our songs live and just enjoy it and have fun. That's all that matters to me.
It's a good thing that they see you and they want to ask for autographs. There was one time that I was in this show in Puerto Rico, and this huge dude looked at me back. He's coming at me. I'm like, oh my God, did I review an album that he didn't like?
Oh
Or did
God.
I crap on an album? But it was a guy from a band that I reviewed, but I got a good review. And he's like, oh, I love your review. And then I interviewed the band. But it was funny because he was looking at me.
Oh my
And then he's
God.
like, he was like, you're the dude on the couch. And I'm like, yes.
That's so funny.
But he was like, I love your review. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Oh, that's so nice. But yeah, that's alarming.
Because he was like so big, I'm like, I'm going to get beat up here
Yeah.
because I said I didn't enjoy a record.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
so for you, Nikki, in this album being so personal, is there like one track in particular that was like maybe the hardest for you to put out there?
I'm trying to think. Honestly, I feel like a lot of these songs have been, but at the time I just like didn't care much about what the impact would be. Like, let's just say like with my lyrics, if I'm putting it out there and somebody that I know that the song's about, I don't think it bothered me on if it would like impact them because at the time I was very numb to my feelings. Like at that point, I was just
Mhm.
like so numb. But I think a lot of them were just like pretty dark. But yeah, I mean, maybe like the one that would be the hardest to put out was probably Solitary or In the Dark, those two,
Okay.
just because of how vulnerable like the situations were.
Yeah, all the tracks here on this record are personal. So obviously, I know that we both like shoegaze.
Yeah,
So for people, because I think shoegaze is not talk about. Not a lot of people talk about shoegaze on YouTube. I try to interview shoegaze bands, and when I can, I like to review some shoegaze on the channel. For you, Nikki, which three bands are your essential shoegaze bands for you?
my essential. Oh, geez.
Could be your favorite, yeah.
People might really get mad at me for this because they're not really like shoegaze, but I really love Title Fight's Hyperview. Like I was saying
Mhm,
before, it is a
mhm.
shoegaze album, and that album is just like everything to me. It's like it's changed my life for sure, like that album. Um, Another band would be Slow Dive. I love them so much. Their music is
You
just
can go wrong with
amazing.
them. Yeah,
Yeah, they're so good. And trying to figure out a third one that I could list. I feel like I've been listening to so many new shoegaze bands lately as well that have been
there's a
really
lot of new
interesting.
shoegaze
Yeah.
bands like Nothing, which is pretty cool. It's not that new now, but
Yeah.
newish. Yeah.
Yeah, Nothing's good. Um, Another band I've been listening to is Downward. They're really good. They're kind of like shoegaze, I guess you could say.
Yeah, yeah. There's actually there's shoegaze here from Puerto Rico. Uh,
Oh, cool.
there yeah, there's a few bands. I can send you their names. There's one
Yeah,
called
definitely.
Sueño con Belugas, and I forgot the other name. Actually interviewed them on Puerto Rico. They're like one of the fewer shoegaze bands that we have here in Puerto Rico, and so pretty cool. So I'll send them to you so you can
Awesome. Yeah,
check
I feel
them
like
out.
it's so hard to find shoegaze bands. Honestly, like
Yes,
here in
yeah.
Long Island, where I am from,
Mm.
I think we might be like the only shoegaze band on Long Island currently.
There's a lot
There
of
might be
metal
like
and hardcore.
another one or so, but yeah, there's not a lot of like shoegaze bands I feel like around, so it's cool to find new ones.
Yeah, no, I like to follow on Spotify. There's like a playlist called Shoegaze Now,
Oh,
and
cool.
and
Okay.
that way I like to see what's new, what newer bands are out there, so I can discover newer bands. So, Nikki, I want to thank you for taking some time of your night to chat with me,
Thank you so
and
much
obviously,
for having me.
yeah, obviously, people, this album is already out. So, where can they get the album physically if they want it?
So you can get the album physically at your local record store. And then you can also get it on the Count Your Lucky Stars web store. And I think you can also get it from Amazon, the physical vinyl, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, cool. I'll post the link or on Bandcamp. They can also
Yes,
get it on
Bandcamp
Bandcamp.
as well. I think you can buy it too.
Yeah, because Spotify doesn't pay people.
I
So
know. We're
I
all
know
we're on all streaming services too,
all.
so whatever.
Yeah, it's streaming services. They're interesting because it's a tool that a lot of bands didn't have in the 90s. So it's a good way to market, but the you don't get, it would be awesome if artists could get paid more
Oh yeah, I
for
totally
having
agree.
their music there. So, Nikki, before I let you go, anything you like to say to the fans before we go?
All I could say is thank you so much for listening and for loving my music, and it just means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. So, Couchers, the album Star Funeral in the Dark is out now. I would recommend it to people who like emo, shoegaze, like very deep and personal lyrics. It's great to listen to it. So support newer bands so they can tour tour more tour and maybe put out new music for you to hear. So until next time, couchers, this is Hector, the Chill Dude on a Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.